Yo, this is Sean Bradley, and I'm back in Queens. That's right, this is East Elmhurst, New York. We're at 2353 97th Street, right by LaGuardia Airport. I gotta tell you right now, it's kind of crazy being back here in New York, especially Queens, because this is where I grew up. This is where my grandmother pretty much raised me at, and you know, that's Sarah Grimaldi. She's one of the most influential people that I've ever met in my lifetime. She was this old school Italian woman that would always kind of hold the family together, always kind of put everything together, and you know, it's just pretty amazing. So what's kind of crazy is that if you take a look down this way, right over there in that house was this girl named Jenny. Jenny used to be my grandmother's best friend. And then down the block, come over here, was a guy named Gabriel. Gabriel was like this, like the town local maniac. Come on, let's go take a look at it. So Jenny used to live right here. Gabriel used to live right over there. And my grandmother was like, you know, the very tight-knit, you know, person in the community. And I remember it was kind of crazy is when she passed away, and they were driving the funeral procession. Everybody was out their doors, you know, showing respect to my grandmother. So I'm sitting here in East Elmhurst, just kind of reliving the past and, you know, missing my grandmother. And I just wish that she was able to see my success. I wish that she was able to see my future wife, Karen, my kids, you know, Tiana, Kalina, and my new son, you know, Sean Bradley, sequel. And over here, this was, I remember one of my babysitters, her name was Etherin. She used to live right over here. And and she had a son named Roger, and I used to turn around and run up to her door and knock on the door, and she was probably one of the few people who used to keep me in check. Trying to think. Yeah, Gabriel's house is over here, I think. So anyway, this is East Elmhurst, and coming down this way. Let's see what's down this way. Then across the street, my mom had some friends, Nancy and Linda LeBron. Used to live right across the street over there. It's kind of crazy. Back to the neighborhood. And what's kind of interesting is that we're going to go back towards my uncle's house. So basically 2353 97th Street is my grandmother's house. Next door is my Uncle Sonny. Uncle Sonny and Hal have been living there for years. Then around the corner was my godmother, Fran DePavlio. So as you all know, I'm half Belizean and half Italian, but this is my Italian side of the family, and this is pretty much where we grew up. And when my grandmother passed away, like a big chunk of me kind of disappeared, but it's just amazing to be back here. I remember when I used to get, matter of fact, where is it? Right over here, they changed the steps. No, right over here. I came running down, and I tripped, boom, and I'm right on the spot right there.
How'd you go?
I went like this. I was running, and I fell. I cracked my head, and I had this big old bump out of here. And my mother was hysterical. My mother used to run. She went run into the car, and she couldn't find the keys, so she had to break into the car.
I heard she had no license either.
She had no license, and she was speeding, taking me to the hospital. I've got pictures you guys could probably see on my MySpace of this spot right over here. There's a picture with me with a wiffle ball bat like this and my little red plastic helmet. And this is New York. So in New York, Mr. Softy's big. I don't know how it is around other parts of the country, but I used to run out of here butt-ass naked to catch Mr. Frosty. My mama used to laugh at me and tease me because, you know, I'd be like, Mr. Softy, Mr. Softy, Mr. Softy. I ain't trying to hear nobody come at me about no Mr. Softy either. I ain't no Softy. Anyway, it's kind of cool. It's just, there's so many memories with my family here. So many memories when I was a kid. My cousins, you know, Joey, Vicky, Michelle. We used to just come here, chill. We've had some crazy. Anybody in my family knows about the spaghetti incident. I'll break it in. The spaghetti incident, my grandmother used to have these big Italian get-togethers, and all the kids used to be at the kids' table. But we weren't having it one year, yo. Let me tell you, we weren't having it. So we had the Christmas tree, and we started just like chucking spaghetti. At the end of the day, the whole freaking tree looked like it had spaghetti tinsel. So we call it the spaghetti incident. So something we still talk about 20 years later. But I don't know, Sarah Grimaldi, I love you, Mom. That's it.